Aloha worlds and welcome to another episode of The Queer and the Queen. I'm Jacoby, act like you know me Jones, and today, once again, I have the beautiful Miss Nice Nasty and Ms.Tilly with me. It's so good to see you guys as always. Now today is National Coming Out Day, and happy Coming Out Day to everyone who's watching. We, the three of us, are part of the LGBTQI plus PWXYZ club, just like the rest of y'all. And we are going to give you the stories and the experiences of how we got to be who we are, comfortable in ourselves and our hearts today. Now, first, before we get too far into this video, drop down in the description box, ding on those notifications, and subscribe to this channel so you know when we post more videos. Now, let's tell the people about us. Miss Nice Nasty, I will have you go first. I'll ask you a few questions.
Why do I always have to go first?
Because
I'm feeling a
I'm
little
a
bit
gentleman.
like, not because
I'm a gentleman.
Well,
I can go.
Woman on the show.
I'm a gentleman.
I'm
I'm trying to do the gentlemanly thing here.
See, I was trying to be a gentleman earlier.
You know what? I'm gonna do the egotistical thing. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go.
Yes,
first.
you go. It's your show. You go.
So,
Go ahead. You do first.
We can collectively go around and answer these questions. How old was I or yourselves when you came out? I came out to my friends. I came out in a 2-part series. I came out to my friends when I was around 10. And I was actually
10.
outed when I was around 13. And I am woman here. You hear me roar myself. Ever since then, I've spent most of my life out of the closet. Now, Miss Nice Nasty, you're polyamorous, and also, which, you know, as far as your relationship status, and bisexual as far as your sexual desires and orientation.
Yeah.
What age were you when you vocally became honest about that?
Well, it was never a matter of being honest about anything, because I never lied, or like someone has never asked me and I lied and said, no, I'm straight. It's just that I think I was just more open to make it public on social media like a few years ago.
No. Hold on. I think, so I'm like your family. Like, when did you tell like your mom, like, hey, look, I like women?
Like in 2017, and I didn't tell her anything. It was like a post I made on Facebook. I didn't tell anyone personally anything. I didn't come out to anyone. It was just a post that I made, I think, in June of that year in honor of like LGBTQ month or whatever. And I had like a saying, and that was it. And yeah, it wasn't a conversation.
So this is just like 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was 4 years ago. Yeah, it was like but I was not in hiding. I was not, I would still date. It was just not public knowledge, but I would still hold someone's hand in public. I would still be affectionate in public. Like, it wasn't
you were being your authentic self regardless. You just weren't making it. You just didn't feel the need to go around telling people.
It was nobody business.
If someone asked me, I wouldn't lie or be frightful.
Right.
Oh my God.
I totally get it. What about you, Miss Tilly?
Oh, child. So I didn't come out. I was forced out. I was 13 or 14, the same age as you, that they forced you out. And I was like, oh, bitch, I'm gagged. Okay, me too. So someone in high school made a MySpace page, back in the day, child, with pictures of me. And I've always been like silly and crazy. So, people would take pictures of me while I'm like that, just acting gay as hell. So they took those pictures, made a MySpace page, and DM'd all the guys in high school and asked them, can I suck your dick? Blah, blah, blah. Just a whole bunch of shit that I wouldn't do at that age, but I do now. So the next day that I came to school, girl, everybody was like, oh, what the fuck? You messaging me? I'm not gay. And they were asking me, are you gay? Are you gay? And I was so overwhelmed. I was just like, what the fuck? I had no idea.
Okay, wait, Miss Tilly. You're getting way ahead. I asked you how old you were. I didn't ask for the whole story yet. Slow down. So the second question was, did you come out willingly or did you feel forced? Thank you for already answering that question.
You already said that.
You came out forced. I did 13. Too. So you, Miss Nice Nasty, weren't forced. It was just, but you were, like you said, you were never hiding anything. You just didn't feel the need to publicize it. So the third question is, did you feel a sense of regret or a sense of relief?
I didn't feel any regret for myself. Like, my life just went on just like normal. Nothing changed in my life.
I was gonna say, in your case, it was just like, okay, I wasn't lying or hiding anything anyway.
Yeah.
Now, I think for me and Miss Tilly, because, again, also the male experience is different from the female experience. And we were younger. And I don't know about your family dynamics, Miss Tilly, but like I was in a very Baptist situation. And I felt a sense of relief because I knew, like I said, I came out to friends, telling my friends when I was 10 years old. And the thing is, for me, I knew when I was 4 and 5 years old, not that I was gay in the sense of sexuality and sexualness. It was just, I was more drawn to boys than to girls as far as like any kind of concept of like intimacy. I would rather go hug a boy than hug a girl kind of concept. Now, as far as friendship, I'd rather be friends with girls than friends with boys. But as far as like the fairyland in your head of like intimacy, and even at, of course, 3 and 4 and 5 years old, is intimacy on the sense of hugs. It was always drawn to boys. I knew then that I was drawn.
Felt different,
yeah. What about you, Miss Tilly?
I felt at the time when I was outed, like I just felt horrible. I was just like, oh my God, like now I have to be my true self, which only my really close friends really knew, and barely at that, because I would tell my cousin Melissa would be asking me, are you gay? And I'd be like, no. And then I'd be like, oh my God, that boy's so cute. She was like, girl, like, come on now. So my auntie helped me come out to my mom. I was like, how do I tell her? And this was after I was outed, because I was just like, well, girl.
How old were you?
So I was 14. It was around the same time that I was outed. So I was still in high school. And I told my mom, I was like, I'm different. She's like, different? No, before I said that I was different, I was like, I have something to tell you. And I was so scared. She was like, what? And she kept saying like, oh, did this happen? Did this happen? And then she goes, did you get a girl pregnant? And I was like, girl, really, bitch? You know I'm gay as hell. And then I was like, no, I'm different. She's like, different how? And then she went on and she was like, are you gay? And then I was silent. And she was like, is that what it is? She was crying or whatever. Even though I don't know how she didn't know. Girl, I got caught painting my nails when I was 4. In Puerto Rico,
I felt the same way. I was just like, how did you not know? But the thing is, I remember my mother, the whole day was just because my friends at like, I said 10, right? And the family part was around 13, 14. And so by the time I'm 13, 14, all of my friends know, and I'm like, all the other openly gay boys are trying to like, who's gonna be my boyfriend kind of thing. And I remember I came home from school and I had a journal. Back in the day, you would all pass this binder around and write each other notes in between classes, blah, blah, blah. I came home and I had left the notebook at home that I shared with writing to notes to someone, and that person knew, and we had conversations about guys I thought was cute. And I walk into my room, and on my bed after school is that notebook open to that page, and I was just like, she knows. Now the catcher is, I used to pray my nightly prayer because I was Baptist. My mother used to pray. My nightly prayer was that my mom would ask, because I didn't have enough courage to tell her, but I had enough courage to be honest if she would ask. And I thought in my head, like, oh my God, she's about to ask, my prayers are answered, everything's gonna be okay now. And it didn't turn out that way. Of course, she stormed right in and she asked, like, are you gay? Da, da, da. And I'm like, yes, thinking that she was going to be able to love me more than she loved her religion, but that was not the case, unfortunately. And it turned into a very toxic situation because she was so warped in her church beliefs at the time. And it just turned into some negative stuff for many years. But the next question, through me going through that, I learned, the next question is, I learned that it got better, right? My next question was going to be, through anything that you went through in this whole process of just becoming your authentic self, when exactly did it start getting better? And the first, I'll say for me, it started getting better when I left and detached myself away from the negativity, because sometimes your own family can be toxic and narcissistic and all that, and you have to remove yourself. So when I detached myself from the people who were trying to not allow me to be me or make me think something was wrong with me, was when I started becoming the best me. What was it for you guys?
For me, it started getting better once I was just able to be myself around everyone. Once I came out to my mom, I did come out to my dad, and he was evil about it. He told me I was going to die at the age of 30 with AIDS. So I was like, okay, so yeah. But just once I was able to just be myself and don't have to hide and pretend I'm somebody else, that's when it just it gradually just got better. And now look at me, girl.
Fabulous.
Queen.
Yes. What about you, Miss Nice Nasty?
So I'm listening to you guys' stories. It's just so heartbreaking because my life has been absolutely amazing when it comes to that part of my life that I have not been able to experience that. And also to my son coming out too. Like I knew since he was 2 years old that he was going to be gay. Like I just knew that he was a gay baby and a gay boy and about to be a gay man. And it's like, even Ms.Tilly, like I looked at a photo of Ms.Tilly, like when Ms.Tilly was younger with her mom. And I saw that picture of Ms.Tilly and I was like, oh yeah, honey, I could tell from that. I think he must have been like 6 or 7 years old in that photo. And I was like, oh, yep, I could tell that I know Ms.Tilly is gay from that photo. So
same thing here. I think
for me, I can't say when it got better. I never got shunned. I never was embarrassed. I never was excluded. So yeah.
Yeah. And what you just said about Ms.Tilly and like knowing as a kid or even your own son, I felt the same way. Just like, Ma, you knew. Like I was gayer when I was little. Like I was a flamboyant little kid. She even when I was like maybe 6 or 7 years old, we was at somebody else's birthday party. They opened it. They got a Barbie. I was so excited, and I wanted to play with it. And they took it from me and wouldn't let me play with it. I lost it. Like they had just took the Holy Grail from me, and I like threw a fit, temper tantrum at the party. Then my mother goes out and buys me a gift a couple like shortly thereafter. I can't remember how long. And her gift was a Ken and a Barbie. The Barbie was in a wedding dress. The Ken was in a tuxedo. And she was like, see, Ken. And I just was so happy to have Barbie and Ken. I ripped the clothes off and I just played with them. But she was trying to give me like, give me reference. And then as I get older, she's just like, I didn't know. Ain't no way you gay. And it's just like, ain't no way I'm gay. Ray Charles knew I was gay. Mama, what you talking about? Like, yes. What are you talking? Helen Keller knew I was gay. Mama.
Girl, I say the same thing about my mom. Girl, you knew. And now she is so supportive. She loves Ms.Tilly. She's obsessed with Ms.Tilly. She's very like that mom. Yeah, she's very supportive.
Me and my mother are in the same space. It took her 3 decades to get here. I will tell you the truth. I mean, she did not become the mother that she is now until a few years ago. But she spent a long time thinking she could,
Did you ever ask her why she was so angry or why she was like not accepting you? Is it mainly religion based?
I knew it was what their main. Because there's 2 things when parents become extremely upset when they have a gay child. And part of it is either to do with their religion. It's really not. It's that you not gonna fuck up my ticket to heaven by having this sin on your back because you reflect me. You know how black families always say, what you do outside this house reflects me. So you're not gonna fuck my ticket up on going to heaven because you want to be gay. You know what I mean? For a long time, my mother would be like, well, if that's what you want to do, and that would make me upset. Like we actually had a good 8-year period where we did not speak, and she finally had to come around and realize, okay, he ain't playing no games. He is not gonna talk to me until I accept him for who he is. And she did what she had to do to get to where she needed to be, and we have a great, awesome relationship and talk almost every day now.
Awesome.
But it took her a long, trying road to get there. And I had a conversation with her about another friend of mine who was having issues with their parent, and their parent was like, I'd rather have a dead son than a gay son. And I asked her, what did she think about that? And she was like, I wish I could talk to that lady to just tell her their religion ain't worth it. It ain't worth it to be mad at your child, to try to think it ain't worth it to not talk to your baby just because you want to make sure you get your ticket to heaven. It ain't worth it. And I was just like, I wish you could tell her that too. But people are who they are. They feel the way that they feel, and they are so concerned with making sure they get their ticket to heaven. Do you not agree? You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I even hear, and I'm not the religious one. I'm the atheist one, honey.
Yeah.
So I even totally understand.
Yeah.
I'm not spiritual, but I just know how Christians can be, or people that are of faith, or that they're about their salvation. I know that religion could turn out to be something that could be used for evil at the same time to spread hate and ignorance. So, yeah.
That's all I got.
Thank you guys for sharing your stories. Like those are very and I know there's so many of them out there that were not the greatest stories with them coming out. And I'm so grateful that mentally I am where I was when I made it known. And I'm glad that I'm the mom that I am, because I wouldn't be able to be supportive to my son if I wasn't.
Yeah. Exactly. I think too, like, I mean, your experience is a beautiful one. And I've had to find the beauty in my own experience. I remember when Brokeback Mountain came out and I first saw it, I was like, this is stupid. Like, I can't relate to that. Like, these men in your 30s and 40s and you 50s and you in the closet and can't be yourself. Like, I could never live like that. Like, this is dumb that they putting themselves through this. Now, I didn't think the movie was that great. And then maybe like 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, I watched it again as I had gone through some life experiences in my 20s and whatnot, and I watched it and it touched me in a different way of just like, I actually was, instead of watching them in a judgmental light, I gotta realize how lucky I was to be able to be so myself at such a young age. Right. Because some people are still in their 20s or their 30s or 40s and 50s and don't got it in them to be like, fuck you, I'm gonna be who I want to be, I'm gonna be me, and you ain't gonna I woman hear me roar. And I found the beauty in the bad experience that I went through with my family. It was beautiful that I got to get that weight lifted early. You know what I'm saying?
Hello. It happened the way it was supposed to happen.
Yeah. Speaking of someone who waited a long time to come out, is a very famous person we know is Caitlyn Jenner, aka used to be known as Bruce Jenner. I know a lot of people may not like Caitlyn. Caitlyn is not my favorite person, but I thought how sad it must be to be that old and that much older and wait that long to come out and say that I am a woman. You know what I mean? That, you know, it is just like, why wait this? And I thought, of course, being a celebrity, being the pressures with the Kardashians, all these pressures maybe was what kept him back from living in his truth. But I just thought, how sad that you waited until you're in your 60s to say, this is who I am. So I am glad that my son came out when he did at a young age, so that way he could start his life off fresh and live in his own authentic, true self.
Well, I mean, and of course, also he was in a space where he kind of felt like it would be okay. Bruce was not. But I remember when Bruce Jenner was transitioning into Caitlyn Jenner, and I remember thinking, you transitioning to be an old bitch. What you doing this for now? Like, what the fuck is the point?
She looks fabulous.
You're gonna be an old bitch.
The bitch looks good.
And you said what?
In the previous video that we
You said what?
The shade.
What?
The shade. So, but in the previous, we get a video about Dave Chappelle's stand-up, and in that stand-up, Dave Chappelle said, y'all just made me forget. He said something about Caitlyn.
He was friends with Caitlyn.
He said, but yeah, that wasn't what I was going to say.
He said Caitlyn was a woman for 1 year and got
before she won Woman of the Year. That's what I was going to say. Now, the concept of that turf thing we talked about in that other episode was that women deserve to be pissed off that Caitlyn Jenner. I thought it was so ridiculous when they gave her Woman of the Year. I was just like, what?
Absolutely.
There's so many beautiful black trannies out there that deserve that shit decades ago, and you're gonna get this white old bitch.
And she was a woman for 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and you Woman of the Year, girl. And then, girl.
You know what my son said? That Caitlyn did not get that based on merit, and that is true.
She got it based on her bank account.
And also to what was hot at the moment was the Kardashians. He was attached to that, and that's what gives it more popularity. So it's like, I would want to have. It was
good for ratings, sales.
I'm sorry?
It was good for ratings and sales.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Right.
And Caitlyn, deep down inside, is still a white man.
Old bitch. She was an old bitch to begin with. She's going to be an old bitch at the end.
An old Republican man.
A white Republican man in America.
Don't even get me started. Yeah. So, in our final notes, right, I think let's both go around and give a couple seconds and say something to the young people watching this, outside of the fact that it gets better. First thing I will say is the first key to having a successful, authentic life is releasing the baggage that you have from where you came from. Do not be afraid to be selfish and love yourself more than you love anybody else. What would you say to them, Miss Nice Nasty?
What I would like to say to the youth that is closeted at this moment or fearful to come out is that remember that these moments are temporary. Okay, so do not make a permanent decision for a temporary feeling and a temporary emotion.
Yeah, amen.
That is great.
What would you say, Ms. Tilly?
I would say that surround yourself with people that love you. Be yourself around, and it'll make it so much easier to just be yourself around everybody else, and also fuck what other people think, because what other people think is none of your business. That's their issue.
I agree.
That's them.
It is always a pleasure talking to you two. You know, you put a smile on my face as always. Go check us out on social media and follow us on all platforms. Drop down in the comments and say what you want to say, if it's positive or negative. We always want to know and appreciate your opinions. Subscribe to this channel so you know when we post more videos. Love yourself because it gets better. And as we always say, don't forget to smile.